Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is March 24th, 2025, and Barcelona are eyeing one of the hottest defensive prospects in Europe, Dean Huijsen. Also, the club have added Hugo Ekitike to their list. And finally, there will be no signing for the goalkeeping position. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the Barca News live podcast, which is on every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where not only do we discuss Barcelona news, but where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section, reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting that discussion going. For those of you who'll be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through the discussion and get straight into the news. Having said all that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to Goal Kids, Kickback, or Fanatics. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. You click on them, get access to some pretty cool deals and offers. All right, let's begin with the news. And as always, the first segment of news is composed of several bits of news combined together, starting with that, ladies and gentlemen, the team is back at work. Now, as I reported in a previous video, Hansi Flick had given the players who had remained behind days off until Monday. So today, the players were back, including some of those who had reported to the international break, like Fermin Lopez, Gerard Martin, and also I'm missing one. There's one more. There was three of them. I can't remember the third one. But anyways, all three had reported to the Spanish under-21 team, but given Barcelona's hectic schedule, the Royal Spanish Football Federation agreed to release all three of them. All three of them joined the training today, and the team is back at work ahead of their match against Osasuna on Thursday, which is only 3 days away. Now, guess who trained today with the team? It was no other than Inigo Martinez, who had been called up by the Spanish national team, but unfortunately, due to the injury that he picked up in his right knee after the Atletico Madrid match, he ended up staying home. He was supposed to be out 2 to 3 weeks, but as I reported before, he is progressing much faster than initially anticipated. And today he practiced with complete normalcy, no problems whatsoever, which indicates that Inigo Martinez will be available for Hansi Flick on Thursday. And that's, of course, a huge, huge boost for Barcelona, especially once I tell you the next bit of news, which is in regards to Ronald Araujo, because our Uruguayan captain and defender has not been released by the Uruguayan national team. Now, as I reported in previous videos, Barcelona were hoping that Araujo would end up getting released early because he had played against Argentina. Uruguay now are going to have to play against Bolivia in very high altitude, 4,000 plus meters of altitude. Bielsa, who is Uruguay's coach, had taken 38 players with him because he was planning on rotating. Playing high altitude is very, very difficult because of the lack of oxygen. And given that there's so many, and given that, it was a tough match against Argentina, many of those players were going to be tired. And then to have them play in altitude was going to be, even more tiring. So Bielsa confirmed that he was going to be rotated when he made those statements. He was going to rotate his players. And when he made those statements, Barcelona were hoping that Uruguay would release Ronald Araujo. And in fact, they did release 2 other players, which I mentioned in yesterday's video. But Ronald Araujo remains with the Uruguayan concentration training camp, which means, training camp. Why did I say concentration? You know why? Because I was reading an interesting article about World War II. But anyways, Araujo has remained with the Uruguayan training camp. So unfortunately, he's not going to be coming back early to Barcelona. But of course, this doesn't mean that he's going to play. After all, Bielsa did confirm there's going to be heavy rotations in his squad. So hopefully Araujo sits this one out. And hopefully, he can be rested for the Osasuna match. Now, as you know, Barcelona have organized with Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid a private jet, a private charter that will carry all the players in South America back to Spain as soon as their matches are over, including, of course, Ronald Araujo, Rafinha, some Real Madrid players like Vinicius, Valverde, Rodrigo, and even some Atletico Madrid players like, what's his name, Julian Alvarez, amongst the others. So for now, Araujo has not been released, but hopefully he won't play against Bolivia, and hopefully he will be rested because Barcelona are going to need as many players as possible available, especially since Pau Cubarsí has not been declared fit yet. He's yet to go undergo a new medical exam to see how his injury is progressing. Now, speaking of the international break, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, Spain drew against Netherlands 3-3 for an aggregate of 5-5 in the quarterfinals of the garbage made up Nations League. They ended up going to penalty shootout, which Spain beaten the Netherlands, and they have qualified to the next round, which is, of course, the semifinals of the garbage made up Nations League. And well, Lamine Yamal did it with style. Yes, he did miss his penalty during the penalty shootout, but he did score Spain's third goal, which was an absolute stunner. It's becoming his signature move where he cuts inside and then, kicks the ball in the bottom left corner. And while he celebrated by trolling a former Real Madrid player who was Rafael van der Vaart, because prior to the match, this is what the former Real Madrid player had said. I noticed some things about Lamine that started to bother me. Pants pulled too low, not putting in much effort, slightly superficial gesture. So this is what Van der Vaart said, who, again, former Real Madrid player, and by the way, he is Dutch. And while after Lamine Yamal scored his goal and after the match ended, he celebrated with his shorts down. As you can see in the top picture, he pulled his shorts down, which Nico Williams joined him in the celebration, also pulling his shorts down. And after the match on his Instagram, he posted pants down, a goal, a missed penalty, and in the semifinals. Let's go Spain. And he posted, again, to the right is the actual post of Lamine Yamal, him celebrating with the face of Van der Vaart. So Lamine Yamal trolling Rafa Van der Vaart for criticizing him on how the length of his shorts or how high or how low he wears them. Like, imagine being a grown-ass man and talk his shit about a 17-year-old's shorts. That's how idiotic these people are. I mean, one thing is to criticize his footballing ability or performance, like saying, hey, okay, I don't like how Lamine Yamal dribbles, or I don't like his passing, or I don't like his goal scoring. Oh, that's fine. After all, he's a football player. He's a professional. That's what you're supposed to criticize his performance. Let's talk about his shorts. This new level of stupid. Anyways, let's do the comment section, and then we are going to talk about one of the hottest defensive prospects, Huijsen, who Barcelona are currently eyeing. All right, let's start with the first comment with Lanray says, yo, my man, I must confess, I've been a Barca fan since 2004, and it's my first time understanding Barca's DNA. Thanks to you. Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. If you guys don't know, I made one of my videos yesterday. I posted 3 total. I think it was the third one, actually, where I discussed what Barca DNA is. So if you don't know, check that video out. I explain in detail what Barca DNA is. But thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'm glad I could help. Thank you for your comment. And, of course, thank you for watching. And Pro Gamer says, Ekitike. How fun is that name to say, by the way? Ekitike would be fantastic. He has amazing dribbling skills, would fit Barca. I'll talk about Ekitike in a little bit. I don't want to get ahead of myself. And Koroma says, Mo, my name is Samuel from Sierra Leone. Started watching your program all the time. Thanks for the update. We love you here in Sierra Leone. Thank you, my friend. I really, really appreciate that. I appreciate your comment, and I appreciate you watching. And, of course, I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. And Aeon says, would you take Ryan Cherki from Lyon at Barca? I'm going to be honest with you. I have not seen him play because I don't follow the league on. So I really can't answer the question. I'm not going to sit here and act like some expert, like, Ryan Cherki. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't watch the league on, so I have not really seen him perform. So I can't say. But let me know your thoughts. If you think Ryan Cherki would be a good fit, tell me why in the comment section. Med says, not going to lie, we should snatch Huijsen from Madrid. I'll talk about him in a little bit. And Alex Narnia says, Mo, do you think Lewa will play on Thursday? I think he will. The knock or the discomfort that he was feeling with Poland was minor. It wasn't like anything serious. And given our limited options in the center forward position, Uh, I think he will. I think he will. Did he play today, by the way? I know Poland won today. Let's see. Poland. Let's check it out. I know they played today. They won 2-0 against Malta. But let me see if Lewandowski played today. Let's see the lineup. Poland. I don't see him in the starting lineup. Did he come off the bench? I didn't watch the Poland man. I mean, Poland versus Malta did not seem like a like a very interesting match to watch. Oh my God! I just realized Poland and Malta's flag are very the same. Okay, so he did come off the bench. So Lewandowski was not in the starting lineup, but he did come off the bench. Let me see how many minutes he played. Poland 2, Malta 0. Let's see. Let's see. Lewandowski, where are you, my friend? My goodness, what is this? I have no idea what this is. Something crazy popped on my screen. Okay, let's see. There is Lewandowski. He played a total of 24 minutes. So that's good. That's good news. He did play, I think, 81 minutes last match in their victory against Lithuania, where Lewandowski scored the winning goal. And then today he only played 24 minutes. So I think that's pretty good. That means that he should be available for Thursday. All right, let's get back to the news. I don't want to keep getting distracted. Let's get back to the news. I'll do more comments, I promise. But let's talk about one of the hottest defensive prospects currently in Europe, which is no other than Dean Huijsen. If you haven't heard of Dean Huijsen, he's a 19-year-old center back currently playing for Bournemouth. I think that's how you say it, right? Oh, I always mess it up, but I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. He has become one of the hottest prospects or defensive prospects in all of Europe after an incredible season in the Premier League and after his most recent debut with the Spanish national team. An incredible defender, someone who's ambidextrous. That's always, good to have and very rare to find. He has very good aerial prowess. He has good ball playing ability. And all this, of course, has caught the attention of many of the European giants, including, of course, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Now, what's the problem? The problem is that at Bournemouth, he has around 60 million euro release clause. I think it's like 50 million pounds, which comes out approximately to 60 million euros. And of course, he has declared himself as a Madridista. And in fact, he's expressed in the past that he would like to play for Real Madrid, and with Real Madrid, being also interested in signing him, most likely that's where he's gonna end up. So Barcelona, of course, have been paying attention to Dean Huijsen, but it's not a priority for the club because we have a million center backs, and of course, with 60 million euro price tag, and you have limited money, you have limited financial fair play, you're not gonna spend 60 million on a position where you have plenty of defenders, Cubarsí, Lamine, what am I saying? Cubarsí, Inigo Martinez, Araujo, Eddie Garcia, Christensen, and maybe Tal will be coming in the summer. The list is very, very long. It's a very crowded position, and to spend 60 million on a crowded position just doesn't make sense. So even though Huijsen has attracted the attention of Barcelona, and Barcelona have been tracking him, most likely, if I had to bet on it, this signing will not be happening, which of course it is a shame because right now, obviously, Cubarsí and Inigo are absolutely amazing, but eventually Inigo is going to end up retiring. He's not getting any younger. He's 33 years old. And it would have been really cool to see Pau Cubarsí and Huijsen. They're both young. Cubarsí's 18. Huijsen is 19. Cubarsí's right-footed. Huijsen is ambidextrous, so he could play on the left side of Cubarsí. And the two of them together, we would have two incredible, promising center backs for a very, very long time. But again, price tag and the player's desire to go to Madrid, most likely it's not going to happen. But of course, I do want to ask you guys, I want to table the question to you. Do you think or would you like to see Dean Huijsen at Barcelona? Let me know in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this once it ends. All right, let's get back to the comment section and then we will talk about Hugo Ekitike. Let's see, where did we leave off? Innocent says, hi, Mo. My name is Innocent. I'm watching from Nigeria. Welcome to the channel, my friend, and thank you for watching all the way from Nigeria. And Nathan says, hi, Mo. In your previous video, you mentioned about the Nike deal being challenged. Is it still going? What do you mean by challenge? Are you talking about in courts? Because I don't think I said that. Now, there is questions amongst the Sochis about the Nike deal. For example, Victor Font, he's been very vocal about it. He's not the only one. There are many other groups of Sochis who have brought this up. Where, oh, I know what you're talking about. You're not talking about the deal itself. You're talking about the intermediary that helped Barcelona negotiate the deal. Is that what you're talking about? And he's looking to get 50 million, and Nike said, "I'm not going to pay for that." I don't know if that's exactly what you're referring to, but in a nutshell, there's a lot of Sochi groups who are still questioning the club about the Nike deal because we have no details about it, right? Laporta came out and said, "Hey, I just signed the best deal in the history of football." And people were like, "Okay, cool. That's awesome. Why is it the best deal?" Trust me, bro. It's the best deal. Okay, why? It's confidential. But trust me, bro. It's the best deal. So that's the explanation that Laporta gave us. It's pretty much every explanation that he's ever given us about everything. Don't get me wrong. I think Laporta has done a lot of great things, but also a lot of times he's been full of shit. Like, let's be honest. A lot of times he's more concerned about him being charismatic and getting the public support and being loved rather than actually being real. He's always the person who just thrives when people are like applauding him and telling him how great job he does. So, and he has done great job. So, but a lot of times when he doesn't, he still lies about it because he just wants to, feel like he wants to feel the adulation of the crowds, right? That's why he told us that supposedly for every day that the Spotify Camp Nou was going to be delayed, we're going to get 1 million euro for every day. It's going to be delayed 1 year. We could have made 365 million euros, but we didn't. Now they're telling us, oh, because we don't want to upset the Turkish company that's building it. Bullshit. What you're telling me is that clause never existed, and Laporta just wanted to seem like, oh, look at me, I'm the most amazing negotiator ever. I negotiated this construction deal, 1 million per day per delay. I don't see any company in their right mind ever agreeing to that. Why would you? Delays are part of construction. Why would you commit to paying 1 million a day when you know there's going to be delays? It's just unavoidable, which means that clause doesn't exist. It's just pure bullshit. Same thing with the Nike deal. They've told us it's the best deal in history. Why? We don't know. It's trust me, bro. So by that logic, hey guys, I'm the greatest YouTuber ever. You should all watch me. Why? Dude, just trust me, bro. I'm the greatest YouTuber. LCE Angel says, Mo, what are your thoughts on the Rafinha comments on Argentina? I was going to cover them, but just because of time constraints and there was so much to talk about, I decided not to. But I'm gonna be honest, I did not like what he said. I thought it was a little bit crossing the line. I guess I can include it in the next video, so I won't go into the details. But in a nutshell, I thought it was a little bit too far. He took it a little bit too far, which I get. There's a rivalry. After all, Brazil versus Argentina. It's still probably the most watched rivalry in international football, kind of like when Madrid and Barcelona is the most watched rivalry at the club level. But he took it a little bit too far. I don't know. That's what I thought. I don't know. You tell me, what do you thought? And Texas Transplant with the generous donation says, sorry, I'm late to the party. Didn't get the notification. I've been doing deep dives on the camp. No progress or lack thereof. I'm chomping at the bit to go home. Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, my friend. And by the way, thank you for your donation, but it's not looking good. They told us November we were going to celebrate the 125th anniversary there. That didn't happen. And they were like, oh, don't worry, by the Atletico Madrid match, which was December 21st. That didn't happen. Then they were like, oh, it's okay, February. Why? Because, it's not that the stadium is delayed. It's because the UEFA rules, UEFA rules say if you cannot change stadium until the group stages are done. So had we went back to the Camp Nou, we would have had to play La Liga at the Camp Nou, and we would have had to play the Champions League at Montjuic. And yeah, that's too expensive to operate two stadiums. It's too much work. So we're going to push it to February. And this is what I mean about bullshit, okay? Because just come out and be fucking honest. Just say, hey, guys, the stadium is delayed. Why make up all these bullshit lies about like, oh, well, it's going to be too expensive to operate two stadiums? That was all fucking lie. Stadium's not even going to be ready till next season. Like, just be honest about it. If you were honest about it, people would understand, because we all understand this is a mega construction project. They're not just repainting the Camp Nou and changing the bulbs to LED lights and putting really cool, pretty signs. They're like demolished the whole third ring and they're building an entire new third ring. Like, this is a big project. These projects it's unavoidable. They're always going to be delayed. So just be fucking honest about it. Don't lie to us and tell us there's a clause that for every delay, for every day, we're going to get €1,000,000, and then tell us that, oh, it's not that we're delayed. It's because the UEFA rules. UEFA, fuck you, UEFA. That's what I mean about Laporta. Has done great things, but he's also full of shit. Like, I'm starting to get convinced that it's not that he has a big belly. That I don't think it's belly fat. I think it's just shit. He's so full of shit that it's just coming out of him. But anyways, let's do one more comment and then we will back. We'll get back to the news. Klaus, my man, Klaus, is always good to see you in the comment section. Says you are correct in pronouncing the name. Which name is it? Huijsen? Oh no, Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I know you're English, so thank you. Thank you for clarifying. And Raul says the only signings we need are a striker and Nico Williams. The right back is relevant too, but not as much as the former two positions. I think it's just as important because we only have Kunde, right? Sure, we have Fort, but he's not ready. And right now, for example, this is a great example of how we do need desperately competitive right back, right? Kunde just played 120 minutes yesterday in the match between France and Croatia. And on Thursday, we have Osasuna. He's only going to have 4 days to recover after playing 120 minutes. And not to mention, we have I think it's 9 matches in 28 days, something crazy. Like, we're going to have a match every 2-3 days. And Kunde's going to have to play all those matches after playing 120 minutes against Croatia. Like, that's exhausting. So, and playing 90 minutes the first time around, right? So we do need desperately someone to compete with Kunde on the right back. All right, let's get back to the news. Because we do have to talk about Hugo Ekitike. So far, the funnest name to pronounce in football. But Barcelona have added Hugo Ekitike to their list of targets that they are considering to reinforce their attack. If you don't know who Hugo Ekitike is, he's a 22-year-old, center forward who currently plays at Eintracht in the Bundesliga. He has a contract with Eintracht until 2029. And while he's been doing pretty well in Eintracht, especially after Marmoush left. As you know, Marmoush was one of the players that Barcelona were targeting. He ended up joining Manchester City. And so after Marmoush left, Hugo Ekitike has, I guess, filled his shoes, if you want to put it that way. He has stepped up and he has been having an incredible season. So much so that, of course, he has attracted the attention of some of the European giants, including Manchester United. Does Manchester United still count as a European giant? That's a good question. And, of course, Barcelona, who have now added Hugo Ekitike to their list of possible targets, especially since Barcelona are, of course, looking for someone to replace Lewandowski once Lewandowski leaves, and given that all the big names are either taken or will cost an arm and a leg, Hugo Ekitike would be a good option because not only is he young and promising, but guess what? Eintracht are reportedly would be willing to let Hugo Ekitike go for around 30 million euros, which is a pretty good price. Jokeres, they wanted 75, or they want 75. Haaland, forget about it. It's going to be 150. Isaac, Newcastle are saying he's not for sale, so the only way to sign him would be to pay some crazy amount, like 150 or something like that. Here we're talking about Ekitike, who would only cost 30 million euros. Now, of course, he's no Haaland or Isaac, but he is a promising attacker. And here's the kicker: he can technically play on the left wing. Now, he's a center forward by trade, but he could play on the left wing, which, of course, makes it even a more attractive option because you can have him there, subbing in for Lewandowski and every now and then also subbing in for Rafinha. Why not, right? If Rafinha needs rest, especially like, for example, Osasuna match is going to be flying in 24 hours before that match because he has the Brazil versus Argentina match. That would be a great example of, Ekitike, chance for someone like Ekitike who could then sub in for him. So, of course, my question to you guys is, would you like Barcelona to sign Hugo Ekitike? Let me know in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this when it ends. All right, let's get back to the chat section, and then we are going to talk about the goalkeeping position. Mez says we need to absolutely sign Vanderson. He's perfect. Yes, Vanderson is number one on Deco's list to reinforce the right back position. You know, Deco's been a huge fan of Vanderson for a very long time. He offered him to the club back in 2022 when he was his agent. But of course, Barcelona didn't have the money to sign him, so it didn't happen. And now Deco's trying to bring him again. By the way, someone in the comment section asked me, Mo, what's the difference? You know, Deco offered Vanderson to the club when he, back in the day, and now he's trying to sign him, and that's no problem there. But how come is it a problem when he offered Vitor Roque? That's a good question. And I explained it to that person in the comment section, but just in case there's more people who are wondering, the difference is that there's no conflict of interest with Vanderson. Why? Because Deco represented Vanderson as his rep. He offered him to the club. Had Barcelona signed him, Deco would have gotten a cut because he's the agent, right? But Barcelona didn't sign him, so Deco doesn't get anything. Now, Deco's the sporting director. He signs Vanderson. Deco doesn't get anything because he is not the agent of Vanderson. Instead, Vanderson's agent would get the cut. Now, in the case of Roque, it was different because allegedly, again, remember, there's an outstanding lawsuit, so none of this is 100% the truth until there's an actual court ruling. But allegedly, Deco offered Roque while he was not his agent, because Andre Curie was Roque's agent. So what's the problem here? The problem is when you offer a player that's not yours, if that club signs him, you get a cut because you offered him. You're an intermediary, you offered him. So, all right. So if Deco becomes a sporting director and signs Roque, he's still going to get his cut because he's the one who set this whole thing up to begin with. He's the one who introduced the player to the club and the club to the player. So that's why it's a conflict of interest, because it's not a good look if you sign a player as a sporting director knowing that you're going to get a personal cut that's going to go to your personal account. That's a clear conflict of interest, That's the difference. With Vanderson, that doesn't exist because Deco's not going to get paid anything if Vanderson gets signed because Deco's no longer represents him. He used to, not anymore. So I hope that clarifies it. If not, let me know and I'll answer more questions. Syed says, watching from Australia. Let's go. We're an inspirational lawyer, YouTuber. How do you do it, man? Bisca Barca. Thank you, my friend, all the way from down under. Wow, that's a terrible, horrible attempt at an Australian accent. Please forgive me. But thank you, my friend. Thank you for your support and your kind words. Honestly, just a lot of work, consistency. I'm no Mr. Beast or all these crazy YouTubers. So all I can offer you is consistency, and I hope that's enough. So I hope it is. I hope you guys appreciate it because I definitely appreciate you guys because you guys are absolutely amazing. And Justin Payne, not Payne, says, I'm watching from South Australia. All right. Keep up the great work. I'm FCB fan since 1998. Wow, another Aussie. Welcome, my friend, and thank you for your comment and for watching. And Van Lee says, if you are buying Ekitike, bring him in the summer. He's developmental striker with high ceiling. Yeah, of course, that would be the target. It would be for this summer, hopefully. But we'll see. The problem is, again, Barcelona, we don't know what our financial fair play is going to look like in the summer yet. Not even Deco knows. So until we know, it's going to be a problem because, of course, we are going to have to prioritize. We're not going to be able to sign, a center forward and a left winger and a right back and a left back. It's just impossible. This was 10 years ago. Sure, we would make all 4 signings all at once and bam, our squad is done. But unfortunately, we live in tough times and we are going to have to prioritize. Again, it all depends on what our financial fair play looks once La Liga updates it in the summer. All right, let's get back to the news. Let's do the last bit of news and then we'll do a lot more comments, I promise. But let's talk about the goalkeeping position because it's confirmed Barcelona will not sign a goalkeeper this summer. Thank you, Barcelona. You finally listened to me. I've been saying all this time, we don't need a goalkeeper. We don't need a goalkeeper. We don't need a goalkeeper. Well, it looks like Barcelona have listened because it's confirmed Barcelona will not go to the market for a goalkeeper. Instead, of course, Barcelona will be renewing Wojciech Szczesny, whose contract expires at the end of the season. And, of course, the player has made it very clear that he's more than happy to renew. He's not going to make any problems. He's not going to have any demands. He's like, just give me a new contract. I don't care if you pay me with tacos. Actually, that sounds like a great deal. I would love to get paid in tacos, but I do love tacos. But Wojciech Szczesny has made it very clear in his statements. Hey, I'm willing to renew. It's not going to be a problem. His agent has said the same exact thing. When the time comes, we're going to renew. There's not going to be any problems. It's going to be pretty easy. Barcelona wanted to renew him. And of course, as I told you in yesterday's video, Flick has greenlit the operation. So everybody's on board. Flick, Deco, the player, his agent, everybody's on board. So the contract renewal is going to happen. So it's only a matter of time. So it's not whether or if Wojciech Szczesny is going to renew. It's a matter of when he's going to renew. Now, initial reports are saying that the deal most likely is going to be a 1+1 deal, which means a 1-year contract extension until 2026 with an optional year, which we don't know the details, but my guess is going to be probably dependent on his performance. Meaning if he continues to perform, that 1 extra year would become valid until 2027. And if not, I'm sure he would be either the club would say bye to him, or maybe he would just end up walking away anyway, because let's not forget, he was retired technically. Decided to give it all up to come to Barcelona. So Barcelona will be renewing Szczesny. It's for sure. No doubt there. So, of course, that begs the question, what's the lineup going to look like for next season? Well, Barcelona have it very clear. And when I say Barcelona, that includes Flick. The starting goalkeeper will be Ter Stegen. The second goalkeeper will be Szczesny, who most likely is going to be in the Copa del Rey. And of course, as I told you before, the third goalkeeper will be Diego Kochen, because Diego Kochen is Barcelona's long-term bet. They have decided that he has what it takes to eventually become the first goalkeeper. I imagine he'll be the third until Szczesny leaves, then he'll become the second. And then eventually when Martin Ter Stegen decides to hang it up, Diego Kochen will be the first goalkeeper. So no goalkeeper, which again, thank God, because I've been saying it, we don't need to spend the very little money we have on a position that's pretty much covered, because we have a lot of talent in that position. It's not just Diego Kochen. We have Khabarashvili. No, I can't say his name. You guys know what I'm talking about. And of course, there's also Iker Rodriguez and even Estrelaga, who's actually a pretty decent goalkeeper. Not as good as Kochen, perhaps, but still a decent goalkeeper. So why spend 60 million on what's his name, the guy in Portugal, or however much, 30 million on the Espanyol's goalkeeper, when we already have plenty of options? All right, let's get back. Oh, one more thing. Barcelona will only go to the market to sign a goalkeeper if Ter Stegen returns from his injury and is not physically well. That's the only occasion they'll do it. Otherwise, no goalkeeper. Is going to be Ter Stegen, Szczesny, Kochen. All right, now we can get back to the comment section. All right, John Williams says, hey, Mo, how are you doing? Thanks for your consistency in giving us authentic Barca news. I would love Barca to sign Lookman. He's a better option than Luis Diaz. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe. Thank you, my friend, for your comment. And yes, please, guys, hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Helps the channel reach people who've never seen it. So it really goes a long way. Subscribe as well so you don't miss any videos. And Lookman, I do like Lookman. I'm thinking of doing a reaction video where we go over some of his highlights and do a reaction. I'm thinking that that's something new I want to add to the channel. Let me know if you guys think it's a good idea. Do reaction videos on players that Barcelona are considering. For example, Ekitike, Lookman. Let me know what you guys think. And Eli says, if the scenario happens where FDJ leaves and Christensen gets sold and Garcia gets sold, who do you think would be an adequate midfield signing replacement, even though Bernal is coming back? None. We don't need any. I mean, we have Casado, we have Pedri, we have Bernal. All three can play in those two positions. Gabi can play in that position as well. I don't think we would need a replacement. Let's see. Credence says, Mo, did you see the Spain versus Netherlands game? Nico would be perfect left wing signing. Why does Deco have such a hard on for Diaz? Hansi will turn Nico into a completely different animal. By the way, good thing you brought this up, because I was going to talk about this in yesterday's video, but I completely forgot. Because Nico Williams has been getting a lot of crap because this season he's not that great for him with Athletic Club de Bilbao. But seeing him with Spain, just a completely different player. I mean, when you see Nico with Spain, you're like, wow. I mean, now I understand why he was a key player in Spain's Euros win. This is why Nico was the #1 target for Barcelona last summer, because with Spain, he's a completely different player. And it has to do because with the players he's surrounded by, right? In Spain, he's surrounded with some of the best players in the world, and he fits right in. versus an Athletic Club de Bilbao. With all due respect to them, they're obviously a level below. So, and then seeing Nico play with Lamine and playing with some of the Barca players like Pedri and Olmo, you're like, okay, yeah, this guy would fit like a glove if he comes to Barcelona. Yeah, because the players you play with, it definitely matters. You need good players. If you're a good player, you still need good players around you. Messi's the greatest ever, but if we put him in Leganés, he's not gonna go win the Champions League with them. I'm sure he'll improve them. He'll score more goals for them. I'm sure they'll do much better on the table, but he's not gonna go win the Champions League with Leganés because it's still a team sport after all. And if you're a good player, you still need good players around you. It's kind of like where people make the silliest argument I've ever heard. Luis Enrique wasn't a good coach because he had the MSN. Who the fuck did you think Pep Guardiola won the treble with? Rayo Vallecano? Pep Guardiola won the treble with the best Barca in the history. Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, you name it. Like, what? Of course he had great players. Every great fucking coach had great fucking players. That's how you win trophies. No coach is going to take over fucking Getafe and go win a treble. That's just impossible. Oh, my God. Sometimes the shit I read, you'd be surprised. Ogundeji says, to be honest, I don't see anything bad in Van der Vaart criticism. It just means off the pitch he could do whatever, but on the pitch he has to command a responsible look. I think that's stretching a little bit. I don't think it was that deep, that comment. I think he's just a Madridista who's butthurt that he's seeing, a Barcelona player at 17 years old doing better than he ever did in his entire career. Joe says, Ter Stegen should not be guaranteed a number one spot. He doesn't deserve it. All right. I'm going to stop there. I'm not even going to read the rest because I've been seeing this a lot. A lot of this foolishness talking about, oh, Tech is better. Let's stop with the foolishness there. Tech is not better than Ter Stegen. Ter Stegen is still one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So let's just stop it there. All right. Med says we should get Ekitike ASAP. He's super fast, great dribbler, and a lethal goal scorer. Wow. Definitely a good player. I have watched his highlights. I don't watch the Bundesliga, so I haven't seen full matches of him, but definitely shows a lot of promise. I'll say that. He's very fast. He has great dribbling. Goal scoring ability. I mean, you name it. So we'll see, of course. It's all going to depend on Barcelona's financial fair play, unfortunately. Credence says Messi did play with Leganés. We got knocked out by Liverpool 4-3. Yeah, I guess so. Indeed says, I have heard about Ekitike for days, just waiting for your confirmation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is on the list. Barcelona have been tracking him for quite some time. They're very interested, but again, it's all going to depend on our financial situation. And Josep says, any news on Sesko, or are we not interested in him anymore? He's still on the list. Barcelona have a long list of players, but doesn't seem like he's a priority. Let's put it that way. Anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in, for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, your donations. If you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you do. If you haven't subscribed yet, also make sure you do. There won't be a news video tonight because there's no more news. It was a slow day for news, but I guess I'll get some rest. And you guys get some rest as well. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, peace, Barça.